An Ogden mother tells me she was stunned to see an alleged Amazon driver take something she ordered right off of her porch. The woman didn't want to be identified but shared this video with us. Now, we blurred the face of the driver because charges are pending. In the video, you can see the man in an Amazon jacket open a package and take the contents out. The driver then puts the open package under a chair to take what appears to be a confirmation picture that the package was delivered. The mother tells me she's had packages stolen off of her porch before, but she was shocked to see what appears to be an Amazon driver doing it. She says Amazon officials refunded her the money for the package. I took the video to Amazon to see what's being done about the driver today. A spokesperson tells me we are investigating this incident and the appropriate action will be taken if needed. The Ogden mother hopes by sharing this video, it'll prevent it from happening to someone else. His name is Trace Conlon, and he's the owner of Riverbend Cabinets. This is a court document stating the Davis County Attorney's Office is charging Conlon with 2 counts of communication fraud and 2 counts of unlawful contracting from work not completed in 2017 and 2019. Through our investigation, we found out Conlon has done many jobs for clients who say he never completes the work. This probable cause statement filed by the Davis County Attorney's Office states that he never should have held a contractor's license. These are some of Trace Conlon's clients. They all claim they were conned by the supposed contractor.
He always seemed to have like a logical excuse.
He just procrastinated.
I think he had ran out of his excuses. He couldn't string me along any longer, and I got blocked on Facebook.
ABC 4 News uncovered multiple cases against Conlon that ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. In one decision, a judge ordered Conlon to pay Lou Johnson back $6,100 with interest for a construction job he never completed and he wasn't licensed to do back in 2017. The Johnson family is still waiting on the check.
As you can see right here,
Well, there's a hole there.
there's a hole here, there's a hole, well, the whole side's just slid out. So none of the fence has actually been screwed in.
Childhood friend Eric Clayton hired his old buddy to install a fence and RV pad on his property.
The guys that Trace sent out didn't do the job correctly. It was actually sloped towards the house as opposed to away from the house. So if we would have left it that way, we would have moisture or water in our basement.
We said, okay, you either show up today with your crew like you had promised, or by the next day have our money returned to us.
The Claytons say Conlon was a no-show. They too found out he wasn't licensed to do contracting work on their property for the jobs they asked for. Across town, Nathan Savigny hired Conlon to inspect his home. He would later hire him to perform handyman work, something Conlon is legally allowed to do. However, Conlon was hired to repair his roof, something he must have a contractor's license to do.
I remember asking him if he was a contractor, could he repair my roof? And he said yes.
Savigny claims he paid Conlon $2,500 up front, half of the estimated cost to repair his damaged roof. But soon after the payment, Savigny says the excuses began.
I contacted him. He said he was going to start that week. And then when I contacted him, he said he was vacationing in Flaming Gorge.
For months, he went back and forth with Conlon over the lack of progress with the project. But finally, out of frustration, he took Conlon to court.
Court date was set for December of 2018. He didn't show up.
Once again, a presiding judge sided with the plaintiff.
I've kind of accepted I won't ever see that $2,500 again. It's gone. But it's not okay for more people to be victimized.
Unfortunately, others have fallen victim to Conlon's broken promises and contracts. The Arnold family paid Conlon to put up drywall in their home, a contracting job Conlon was not licensed to do.
We were going to go file with the courts and press forward with to have him be served. We come across a Facebook post about somebody that was almost verbatim what we went through.
The next day, he told us they were going to try to deliver again, and our neighbor was on standby, and our neighbor called him a couple times too, trying to arrange times, and he just kept lying to her about when they were going to show up with the cabinets.
After Nisha Wright and her family spoke with us, Conlon sued the Wrights for defamation and requested a temporary restraining order. They claimed he never completed their kitchen cabinets, another job Conlon is not licensed to do. Before the order was filed, I tracked down Conlon at his job. Conlon wasn't there, but he did call me back. Wanted to see if we could sit down and chat with you about everything that's going on with all your cases.
I have no comment at this time. You can contact my attorneys if you need to.
We've already contacted your attorneys and requested a sit down.
Okay.
But I got one main question. Are you a licensed contractor?
I have no comment.
At the restraining order hearing, I showed up along with several of Conlon's victims who won judgments.
It was really frustrating to see him sit there, to have read the declaration that he filed with the court, that the claims that people are making are harming his reputation, and that they're baseless.
He is not robbing people, he is not scamming people, he's not taking their money and leaving them. So these are some very baseless and harming accusations.
Excuse me, Mr. Conlon, do you have anything to say, or Ms. Cross, anything to say about these other people where judgment was awarded to them? And
no comment at this time.
Is your client a licensed contractor?
No comment.
So how can you ensure this doesn't happen to you? The Better Business Bureau suggests you research to see if your project requires a licensed contractor. Look at online reviews of the company or contractor. And finally, never pay up front for a project. ABC4 News began investigating this case a month ago. At the center of this controversy is Mayor Gordon Cutler. Firefighters say he waged a personal vendetta against the department, and Mayor Cutler did not disagree. Tonight, the future of Uinta City Fire is now in the hands of Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson.
21 chickens, 2 llamas.
For 17 years, Patty Sawyer is one of the roughly 1,500 Utahns who calls Uinta City home. Sawyer lives down the street from Station 91, a more than $500,000 facility that houses volunteer firefighters.
You know, a lot of money went into that. They got grants and stuff, and I'm like, wow, we put all that money into it, and now we're not going to use it.
When city leaders unanimously voted to annex with the Weber Fire District, she was left with many questions.
What's the bottom line? That's what I want to know.
To get to the bottom line, we went to Uinta City Mayor Gordon Cutler.
We love our firefighters. They've done a wonderful job when they're here, but they're just not close enough to respond.
Response times are a big issue, so ABC4 News put them to the test. It took us 2 minutes and 35 seconds to travel from the Uinta City Fire Station 91 to 1540 East and 6650 South. In contrast, it took us 7 minutes and 16 seconds to get there from the Weber Fire District Station 64, almost 5 minutes longer. But Mayor Cutler says only one of the 12 volunteer firefighters lives in Uinta City, and those firefighters have to go to the station before answering a call, which could take more than 10 minutes.
Those people could not respond to a fire, a structure fire especially, in Uinta City in a timely manner.
Firefighters tell me it was under the mayor's leadership that caused Station 91 to falter, and it started when he was a member of the city council.
Funding was an issue primarily, and then as the programs were weaned away from the department, we just kept getting our hands tied more and more and more with what we were allowed to do.
Former Fire Marshal and Chief of Uinta City Fire Department Mark Sacco joined the department in 2014 and resigned last August. It was around that time that Mayor Cutler says he went shopping for a new fire department.
I approached Weber Fire District and asked him what would it take to annex in there, because that's the easiest way to do.
In 2018, Uinta City Fire was called to 4 wildfires. One of them, the deadly Mendocino Complex fire in Northern California that claimed the life of Unified Fire Authority's Battalion Chief Matthew Burchett.
And our hearts still go out to the Burchett family.
I had philosophical differences with the fire department, specifically over the Wildland Fire Department. Again, a city of 1,500 sending people to fight forest fires in California, I did not agree with that.
The mayor may not agree with sending the volunteer firefighting force out of state, but the practice was a huge revenue source for the city. The fire department made more than $119,000 on the deployments. More than $60,000 went to a city agreement for renting a brush truck. With everything paid off, the city made $30,000 for the general fund.
We were looking at the wildland department as a way to help bring revenue and money into the city and into the department so that we weren't relying on grants and tax dollars to fund the department.
Battalion Chief Casey Christiansen was in charge of the remaining volunteers at the fire station. The city terminated his contract around the time it changed the locks on Station 91. The battalion chief says the mayor cut EMS services, staffing, the Explorer, and the Wildland Firefighter programs.
Looking past at some of the past city council meeting minutes and things that he said, it feels like a personal vendetta against us for things that happened before he was mayor, and he's trying to erase those.
If the Weber Fire District and Uinta City annexation gets approval by the state, a city representative will need to sit on its board, which is a paid position.
I said that I thought maybe the mayor should be there the first little while.
That news doesn't sit well with Patty Sawyer and some of her neighbors.
I think they should wait anyway, just to let the public, let the Uinta citizens get more information. And I think it should go to a vote next November, be on the ballot.
I spoke with Chief Paul Sullivan with the Weber Fire District. He tells me his department put together a plan at the city's request. The chief plans on using the fire station for wildland fire teams this summer. Mayor Cutler believes he'll have an answer from the Lieutenant Governor's office within the next 30 days. I'm Jason Nguyen, ABC4 News.
Jason, are you okay?
This will forever be a memory etched in my brain because of a large firework that went off at my feet.
Paramedics treated me. There's a small burn on the back of my thigh here.
My photojournalist John Perry and I were reporting live at the May 30th Salt Lake City protest turned riot.
There were people geared up for a fight, and clearly with the projectile that they threw that you were injured by, that shows that there was some pre-planning involved.
This is body camera footage from Davis County Sheriff's Office Sergeant and Paramedic Christopher Pope showing the explosion.
My ears were ringing. It was very shocking to me. And before I knew it, I saw you come running right towards me.
Sergeant Pope quickly grabbed his medic bag and went to work.
Let me wrap it for you, bud. I was just very surprised that big of an injury had gone through your pants. I was in shock. I was in shock about that.
You and me both.
I went back to reporting because of Sergeant Pope and the other officers' quick reactions. My doctor told me I'll continue to have ringing in my ears, suffer from PTSD, and will have a forever scar. Salt Lake City police are investigating this case.
These were clearly brought in from somewhere. Fireworks weren't for sale at that particular time.
This is exclusive video I obtained of the person who threw the firework in your upper left-hand corner, wearing a red hat and white shirt. He's still out there. If you know who he is, Salt Lake City police want to hear from you. I'm Jason Nguyen in Salt Lake City, ABC4 News.